At this Committee of Adjustment meeting held on June the 30th, 2021, come to order at 7:04 p.m. May I have a mover and seconder, please? Moved by Cooney, seconded by Webster. All in favor? Carried, thank you. Are there any disclosures of pecuniary interest this evening? Yes, there are. Go ahead, Mr. Cooney.
I disclose a pecuniary interest in item 5.1 on the agenda, and I will be submitting the declaration of interest to the clerk on July 2nd.
Thank you. Member Kennedy.
I have a direct pecuniary interest in item 5.1, based that my home is within the notice area for the application, and I have to do the same thing as Member Cooney as well.
Thank you. So we have two pecuniary interests, Member Cooney and Member Kennedy. Thank you. The Committee of Adjustment minutes dated May the 26th, 2021 be adopted as presented. May I have a mover and seconder, please? Moved by Member Webster, seconded by Member Vanderweel. Any discussion? All in favor? Carried, thank you. Welcome to this Committee of Adjustment meeting to allow the public an opportunity to express their views regarding the proposed minor variances and consents within the Township of Springwater. Each applicant and their agent, if applicable, will be given the opportunity to present the applications to the committee and public. Additional information on each of the applications, including any presentation materials, is available in the committee agenda on the Township website. Following, those members of the public who registered to make oral submissions prior to 4:30 p.m. yesterday, June the 29th, 2021, will be given the opportunity to do so. All oral submissions will be included in this meeting's minutes and form part of the public record, including the name and addresses of the speaker as information collected under the Municipal Freedom of Information and Protection of Privacy Act. The minutes of the meeting will be posted on the Township website. All comments or questions should be addressed through the chair. I will ask the Secretary Treasurer to please introduce the first application, item number 4.1 on the agenda.
Thank you, Chair Gannon. Item 4.1 of the agenda is a consent application, B0921, for lands known municipally as 5 Simcoe Street. The purpose of the application is to obtain approval of a boundary adjustment consent to convey a parcel of land measuring approximately 1.8 meters by 40.61 meters, representing an area of approximately 73.1 square meters, which is 786.84 square feet, to the abutting parcel, municipally known as 7 Simcoe Street. The application proposed to retain approximately 743.99 square meters, which is 8,008.3 square feet of lot area.
Thank you. Has there been any additional correspondence and/or comments that have been received?
Yes, comments were received from the Township Building Department stating no objection.
Thank you. May I have the applicant please introduce themselves and provide a brief description of what you would like.
Good evening. My name is Sherry Buchanan, and I live at 7 Simcoe Street. And this property is right next door to me. And the reason that I am applying for this is that my land is only 9 inches away, or my boundary is only 9 inches away from this property. And I would like to, at some time, to be able to construct a new garage, and therefore I am too close to the boundary line in order to do this.
Thank you. Are there any members of the public registered to make any submissions this evening?
There are no members of the public who have registered to make an oral submission.
Thank you. Do any members of the committee wish to have comments or ask questions of the applicant? I see none. Thank you. I'm assuming then that the committee is prepared to approve this, so I will read the following resolution. Motion B09/21, that the Committee of Adjustment, having given consideration to the applicable provisions of Section 53 of the Planning Act, the official plan of the Township of Springwater, the characteristics of the subject land and its surroundings, as addressed in the planning report on the subject application dated June the 30th, 2021. Correspondence received and information presented at the hearing held on June the 30th, 2021, and the discussions on the matter hereby approve of the application as applied for, subject to the following conditions. Number one, that the applicant satisfy all requirements, financial or otherwise, of the municipality. Number two, that the applicant provide 2 copies of the registered survey of the severed lot prepared by an Ontario land surveyor. Number three, that the owner applicant satisfy and be responsible for all costs to satisfy section 65 of the Drainage Act 1990 if applicable. And number four, that the conveyed lands be merged with the benefiting lands known municipally as 7 Simcoe Street. May I have a mover and a seconder, please? Moved by Kennedy, seconded by Cooney. All in favor? Motion is carried. Thank you, Sherry. You can deal with the township as this moves forward.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome. May I have the applicant, or may I have the secretary treasurer please introduce item 5.1 on the agenda?
Item 5.1 on the agenda is the Ontario Land Tribunal decision for 45 Huron Street, which was consent application B0320, and the Ontario Land Tribunal correction notice for the same decision.
Thank you. May I have a mover or seconder to get this on the floor, please? Moved by Vanderweilen. Rick, you have to second it to get it on the floor. There's only 2 of us. Thank you. Any comments or questions? I see none. May I have a motion? All in favor of the receiving this as information? Carried. Thank you. Have the secretary please introduce item 5.2 on the agenda.
Item 5.2 on the agenda is the Ontario Land Tribunal decision for 5 Glen Echo Drive, which were consent applications B0720 to B1020 and minor variance application A1620.
Thank you. I have a mover and a seconder to put this on the floor, please. Moved by Vanderweilen, seconded by Cooney. Any discussions? Go ahead, Rick.
Thank you, Chair Gannon. Not pleased that the municipality did not significantly or any other way provide support for this committee at LPUT. Not sure what the direction needs to be, if any, but it's not. I will go on record as saying, if this committee is significant and worthy, the worthiness was not supported by this council and this municipality. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments or concerns, questions? Go ahead, Mr. Cooney.
I wish to also concur with Rick that I'm very disappointed in the lack of support by the township, and you know, it's written right in the document that it was supported by the planner of the township, and so it really nullifies any decision that the committee is making. It really gives me I guess a bit of an opinion that our purpose here is really null and void when the staff reports are written the way they are in support of something like this. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? Go ahead, Member Kennedy.
Thank you, Chair Gannon. I would just like to agree with both of my committee members. I feel the exact same way that, you know, I'm questioning why I'm volunteering my time to, in my opinion, try and look out for the best interests of these communities within our township. And that was disappointing from my perspective.
Thank you. Member Webster, go ahead.
Thank you, Chair Gannon. I would like to request that the information and the words here spoken by our committee are recorded, and that they are recorded and presented to council in a verbal and a forthright way, that they know that we weren't just minutes from this committee. They were actually requested that the minutes be read out loud at the next council meeting.
Thank you. Any other comments? Can I perhaps suggest then that we have a motion to accept this, but maybe the motion should be adjusted to indicate that we're accepting this, the information as correspondence. However, in a majority of the membership feel that we are displeased with the efforts of the municipality, or someone want to craft some wording there? Sophie, do you want to attempt it, or Moderator Belcourt, would you like to attempt to provide us with a good wording here to attend with this?
We can always say so that item 5.2 be received as correspondence, and something be submitted to council, and minutes be submitted to council. I'm not too sure.
I think what it has to say is that we received the item 5.2 as correspondence.
Yeah.
However, the majority, and in doing so, the majority of the members of committee voiced their displeasure with the actions and lack of support by council in this matter, and further that the item 5.2 be verbally addressed at a council meeting in the near future. How does that sound, everybody?
I agree with that. I'm just trying to think of what the way it's being done. Our decisions are like, it's basically whatever the planning staff report says. If it is appealed to LPAT, we're overturned every time because planning staff's report may be positive, and that our purpose is really, how am I going to put this? Maybe Patty, you can help me put this in a term that like I feel redundant in what we do with this committee because of the way the reports are being written, and our decisions are not being supported by staff and or the township. I thought there was going to be a planner retained for the 5.2, and I don't see anything here that says that a planner was retained to defend it.
I'm going to interject here only because that was done in a closed session of council, so we can't discuss all of our recommendations that were made. I think it's a case that we, as I indicated, we voice our majority displeasure with the way that the matter was handled by council and the lack of support by council.
Okay.
I have some draft wording here, if you guys don't mind me reading it.
Henry wants to say something there.
Yeah, go ahead, Henry, first.
Yeah, I think, I mean, this is being done already, but we do have to have a conversation with planners and council going forward is that we're all in agreement one way or another. And if we can't come to an agreement, so be it. But we should have the opportunity to have a discussion with planners before this goes to the board. And whereas I don't think it has that has happened before. And so, I mean, this is it's done now. We can express our concerns, but I think in that concern though is that going forward, that we as the committee have the opportunity to have discussion back and forth with the planners as to,
Unfortunately, you're breaking up, Henry.
so that we have discussion with the planners before it goes to this far. So I'd like that part put into it too.
Well, we did have the discussion, as you recall, it was part of a closed session of the committee. So we met with
Yep.
the appropriate individuals. So it's not a case of that. I think it's a case moving forward that we need to come to a common ground of some form with all members of the planning staff and council as to what our role is and how we can work better together. So unfortunately, I lost part of your conversation, Henry. I'm not sure if everybody else did or not. Moderator Belcourt, I'll let you go ahead with what you want to read for us.
So the first part of the resolution will stay the same, that the item is received as information. And then we would add, and that the displeasure of the members in lack of support by council and representation at LPAT be expressed at the next available council meeting. I will add that this may be a clerk's process, and when it is going to council or the type of meeting it will have to go to, whether it's closed or open session, that will be at the discretion of the clerk, because we're not well versed ourselves on those formal processes.
I understand that. Go ahead, Mr. Webster. Did you want to speak?
Thank you, Chair, again. I think that the crux of this is that council needs to recognize this committee for the commitment that we make to hear these applications. And whether we agree or disagree as a committee is not the point. The point is whether or not we are supported by council, who has appointed us as volunteers, in representing us down the road to LPAT and wherever it may go. And I feel that that the committee was left without that support from council. So while while we were all made part of a volunteer committee to do this, that's nice. We can volunteer that, we're going to sweep the sidewalk, but if we don't sweep it, there's no big deal. In this case, we're making decisions about many things, and we need to be supported. Whether council agrees, on the majority or minority, whether or not what we're doing. The fact of the matter is, what they need to do is to support this as a member community appointed by them, and we ask for them. Otherwise, we don't exist. We are just kind of yes. So I want to make sure that council has heard the frustration that we're feeling as a committee, and that they will decide and be present in the public whether the decision is we're going to support Committee of Adjustment or we are not. And it's pretty much just like that. And that's what I want to say. Thank you.
I understand that. I'm wondering if perhaps it's a request and maybe what I do is I speak to the clerk as the chair to request a delegation to council so that it's in an open session of council. Council is aware of our frustration and our concerns, and it is thereby recorded verbally and visually, audio and visually. Go ahead, Rick.
I'd be proud to be there with you, Chair Gannon, when we present that message, if you will. I'd be pleased to be there with you.
Thank you. I see we've lost Henry here. Go ahead, Lauren.
I understand the position that council is in because their planning staff has written the staff report in a format that indicates recommendation. So they would be then not following the recommendations of their staff when these reports go forward to LPAT. And that's where all of this stems from, is that staff are writing these reports that recommend or support the application that comes forward, regardless of what it is. And that puts council in a position, and if you recall from those meetings, that it's difficult for them to hire support staff to dispute it at LPAT. And what we need to do is to stem it from right from the beginning, is these staff reports should only state the facts and the facts only, and leave it up to the committee to make the decision. Right now, it's tying our hands and it's tying council's hands, and that's the only way it's going to be fixed. That's my comment.
Thank you. I agree. Member Kennedy, do you wish to add anything? I still see where Henry is not here.
Well, I wholeheartedly agree with what Member Cooney is saying and what Member Webster is getting at as well. Our hands are tied because the reports are going forward with a recommendation for these, regardless of what our comments or our discussions are or other input from the other agencies or neighbors or anyone else. So I'm on board with exactly what everybody else is as well here.
Thank you. So to our two planners who are online here listening to us, please don't think that this is any reflection on the work that you do. We appreciate the work that you do, and we understand that. What we believe is that there are ways of making your work easier, not putting you into a predicament, and allowing us to make the decisions as a committee that should be. So before I ask for a vote, can I ask Moderator Belcourt to reread the amended resolution?
Thank you, Chair Gannon. So I've amended it a bit further to maybe represent as a delegation. So I've stated, I kept the same wording that is existing and changed it to, and that the committee make a delegation to council regarding the lack of support by council and representation at LPAT. Please let me know if you'd like that changed in any way.
But how does that sound to Lauren? You okay with that?
I guess at the council meeting, we could bring the points forward that we just discussed now. Could be, I guess we could, I guess, no disrespect there, but it's a little general on what you've written, but we could, I guess, expand on it at council. Rick, maybe if you concur.
If I could, Chair Gannon, I've kept it vague because there, as I mentioned previously, there may be a formal process through the clerk's department that may need to be followed. So I think keeping it vague allows for some opportunity and wiggle room, essentially.
Yeah, I understand that. It's a general resolution. So, but the point is that we get to make a delegation to council as a whole, expressing our frustrations and our concerns and looking for a way to assist the planning department to keep the conflict between us and potentially any further organizations or bodies from impacting each of us. Henry, I appreciate you disappeared there for a while.
Yeah, I haven't heard any of your discussion. It automatically just wipes me out, so I don't know what's going on. So,
okay. So to recap, Henry, we've adjusted the motion again. Patty will read it again before we disappear. And basically what it is that we're suggesting that as the chair, I will make a delegation to council expressing our concerns and frustration and offering to look for ways of resolving some of the issues that are confronted when planning staff is recommending a report and we are not accepting that report.
good, thank you.
Okay. Planner List, did you wish to jump in there? I see your smiling face. Is it you?
Yes, thank you. I just wanted to make a comment. Obviously, you're aware that Director Spagnell is not on the Zoom meeting tonight. We will ensure that he, obviously, we let him know what happens at this meeting and the motion. And this meeting is recorded, so he will be able to review this meeting once he gets back from holidays. And he may have, a response to the committee. But I just wanted to let you aware that we will make sure that he gets this message as well.
Thank you. Okay, so final time, Moderator Belcourt, can you read the entire motion?
Of course. So I don't have the first part and maybe I do. 1 second here. So I can read the entire thing. Sorry. So that item 5.2 be received as correspondence, and that the committee make a delegation to council regarding the lack of support by council and representation at LPAT.
Thank you. Can I have a vote, please? All in favor of the motion? Carried unanimously. Thank you. Next item, is there any other business that we need to discuss this evening? Well, I have one. I understand that our Secretary Treasurer is leaving us and moving to not just north of us, but up to the polar bear. What are you going up to the polar bear for?
Yeah, it's actually my hometown.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, in case you guys aren't all aware, there still is a polar bear in Cochrane, is there not?
Yes.
Yeah. So back when I was working with the fire marshal's office, everybody wanted to go to Cochrane to see the polar bear. I have to say that it was 47 years ago or 48 years ago that I was last in Cochrane personally. My side of my family is from Northern Ontario, from the Timmins, Porcupine, New Timiskaming area. So Sophie, it's been a real pleasure having you with us for the past several years.
Oh, thank you.
I wish you all the best. I believe all the committee members will wish you all the best as well in this new endeavor that you're taking on. It's probably nice to go back home. It's not going to be quite as hectic and as busy as down here. Is the Ring of Fire still going up in Cochrane?
Yeah, there's quite a few forest fires.
No, the gold mine, the
Oh,
gold mine Ring of Fire.
Oh, sorry. Yes, that as well. That is going to.
Yeah, again, back when I was working in the fire marshal's office, that was a big issue for us. What was that? It was called the Ring of Fire, I think, if I remember correctly, but it was a big gold mine situation, and that's why everybody wanted to go to Cochrane. So they wanted to see that. So I said, it's been a pleasure. It was nice to see you at the vaccination clinic the other week. Sophie and her husband were wandering out. They were in my corral for 15 minutes. I never noticed them until they were walking out. But, it's been a pleasure having you for the last little while, Sophie, and I'll leave it to other members if they wish to say anything.
Congratulations, Sophie. All the best.
Oh, thank you.
Off you go. Enjoy the winters up there.
Yeah. I'm gonna say, Sophie, my husband and I were up there a couple of years ago to go snowmobiling, and we love it. So we'll be back, and I'll look you up. All right?
Yes, for sure. But it's been a pleasure working with everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks for your contributions to Spring. We're very happy that you've been here.
Yeah.
All right.
Through you, Dennis, just so you are aware, I will be stepping into the role of Deputy Secretary Treasurer again until we fill Sophie's big shoes. So feel free, if you need anything in the meantime, to send me an email, and also be patient with us because we lost like half of our department recently. So
Yeah, I sort of noticed that you're a little thin on some planning staff these days. So again, thank you, Patty, for Patty. Why do I want to call you your mother's name? I
So
guess
just-
I was calling her mother too many years that we worked together, so we'll move forward. I have a motion now that this Committee of Adjustment meeting held on June the 30th, 2021 now is adjourned at 7:34 PM. May I have a mover and a seconder, please? Moved by Webster, seconded by Kennedy. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Thank you again, and all the best, Sophie. Take care.
Thank
And if I
you.
ever
All
come
the
up
best,
to
Sophie.
Concord,
Go Habs, go.
Go Habs, go, yeah, go Habs, go. Go
Good luck,
Habs, go.
Sophie. I wish
Okay.
you all the best.
you're only
Oh,
4
thank
minutes
you.
late, Rick, so you're doing good. Thanks, everyone. Talk to
Take
you
care,
later.
guys. Stay well.
Happy Canada Day.
Yeah.